Hey everybody, welcome to Alisas Art Room. Today we're going to be working some more on my Country Farmhouse junk journal. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We're currently live on Facebook if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay, either here or over on YouTube. I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. Dawn says sound is good, thank you. Hey Lori. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. I've done the pharmacy bag pockets before, but I've never covered one with fabric. So I did a little test to see if it would work, and it does. So we're going to do that, and I might do some decorating on this too. I might actually do this. I don't know if I want to do it first or last. I might do it last because I don't know how long the pharmacy bag thing's going to take me. So, because I didn't time it. I need to learn to time when I do the practice ones so that I know how long they'll take. I just start working and then it's like, oh, it's been 2 hours. Oh, you know. So anyway. So I think we're good. We got sound, we looked okay. We got a few people on here. I'm gonna pull the camera up top. Okay. So I'm not sure where I'm gonna put it. I think I had it in this one by the map. Yeah, I think I had it here. I took the bag out and then forgot where it was. I might have marked it, but oh, did I? Okay, yeah, I put a little paper clip there, so it was marked. So it was here. So this is just a typical pharmacy bag, and I usually will stick them in here and cover them with paper, cut off the ends, and make little pouch pocket things. And I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I've got that pink pig fabric that I like. I found at Hobby Lobby. And I was like, you know what? I want to try to cover one with this. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to cover this, and then this is just going to go, I think, in one of these pockets, front or back, and then I've got some things to decorate it with in here, so if we can, we'll get to that. And then other than that, I wanted to make some pockets for these guys. I got to figure out where I can make a pocket to fit those, or it could be a belly band. I'm not sure what. But I've still got plenty of, you know, blank spaces. Is that an envelope? Forgot I had an envelope half that I need to fix too. So this is going to have to be cut off one way or the other and made into a pocket too. The other side's already decorated, and I think that is it. I don't think I did anything off camera really. So I'll set this aside. So we've got our pharmacy bag. You could do this with a paper bag as well. You know, the size might be a little different, but the same general process. So the first thing I did was prepare my fabric, because I don't want my fabric to fray when I'm attaching it to this bag. Now these are fairly thin. They do have a little bit of a coating on one side, so they do stop the glue from seeping fairly well. One side didn't seep at all when I did the practice. The other side did seep a little bit. So I have like a piece of plastic, not really plastic, what is it? It's technically transfer paper. Oh, that's not it. It looks just like that though. This one. It's just some transfer paper that I saved after pulling off a transfer. And I just cut it to the size of the bag, and so that I can stick it in there. You could do acetate or whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as you put something in there to keep it from gluing itself together. And then we need to open this up. So we're just going to cut off the ends. And I just cut it up to the point where that is. I actually marked it just to take off the loose ends because we don't really need all that. I have a ruler here somewhere. Is that it? There it is. Okay. So we're going to cut these off. I think I can use this. Sometimes thinner things, these utility knives will just tear instead of cut, so we'll see. All right. There, it worked. All right, turn around. We're going to do this side, and I'm just cutting the ends off so that I can open them up. And then you basically got a hollow bag like this, and you can just tear off any loose stuff, or you can glue it down if you're worried about it ripping, but it usually doesn't rip it. And then you want to look at the inside and make sure that any loose edges are glued on the inside as well. And I'm just going to grab some art glitter. You just don't want anything that your tag or whatever you put in there later might snag on. So if my art glitter is going to work. Some days it just doesn't. It's like it doesn't even feel like it's plugged up. There it goes. So just a little bit there to hold that down. That's probably one on this side too. Yeah, just a little bit. And I only do this just because every now and then it'll cause an issue with a tag snagging when you try to put it in. So what you want to do is open it up to the side fold here so that we get the whole length of it. So try to keep it somewhat straight. So we're going to open that side and we're going to open this side. And make sure it's flattened completely out. Alright, and this is the size that your fabric needs to be. So you don't want to cover this edge right here because that's where it's going to fold, and you don't want the fabric to hinder that. So you want your fabric to come like 1/16 of an inch from the edge of your paper bag on each side, here and here. This side you want to overlap by whatever size you want for a cover. Okay, say if you want to cover that big, then you want it to overlap that much. If you want it smaller, then it can be smaller. Okay, I did mine about, it looks like about 1 inch and not quite 1.5 inches, almost. I left these edges frayed, but I may or may not tear them off or cut them off. I kind of like the frayed edge, so I'm going to try to keep them. And what I did to prepare this fabric so that it does not fray any more than I want it to, is I glued it. So I took the back side of the material, and you guys have seen me do this before, but I laid it on something that glue won't stick to, like a silicone, or I use cereal box liners. So I usually use these cereal box liners. So laid it on that so it would protect my surface. Did this ahead of time because I didn't want to have to wait for the glue to dry. So I have a mixture of Elmer's and matte medium. Elmer's is just a PVA glue, so any PVA glue is fine. I have this extra strong formula one, and it seems to work real well for stuff like this. And then a little bit of matte medium, which is this Liquitex. I like the matte medium because matte medium when you do this technique, it doesn't get quite as hard and crispy as it does when you only use regular glue. So the harder you want the item to be, less matte medium. If you want it to be more supple, then more matte medium, and then a little bit of water just to kind of thin it out a little bit. And so that's what this mixture is. I took this mixture and I coated the area that I wanted to be my fold over, because I'm going to have a button opening here and I didn't want it to obviously tear, and I'm not going to do a whole buttonhole thing. You could, but I'm horrible at buttonholes, so I'm not going to. So I just coated that with glue up to the point where it folds. So don't go past that point or it won't fold as easily. So I just went up to that point. So there's glue here. There was glue on each of these edges. Oh, I might have missed right there a little bit. So I tried to just put the glue where I only needed it for cutting or for keeping this from fraying. So glue here, glue on the edges of each of these pieces, and I let that dry. And you can dry it with a blow dryer, that works too. But I went ahead and did it, and I cut them out to size. Now this one is got a direction to it, so you have to keep that in mind when you're doing your bag, and make sure that one side goes on, you know, this way, and then the other side goes on this way. Okay, so we'll have to try to make sure I pay attention to that, because my practice was not directional. So I am going to put this into my bag, and this is just to protect it from the glue. And I just didn't want the bag to glue to the other side of the bag in case the glue did seep through. Like I said, it's kind of hit or miss as to whether it will. It didn't seem to the first time at all. So I'm going to be putting glue in here, so I'm going to put something down. Where's my silicone mat? Can I reach it? This is a media mat by Tim Holtz. Works pretty good. It's just big. I think he sells a smaller one too that's like a refill for his glass mat. So for this, I'm going to use that same glue mixture. You could probably use Fabri-Tac or something like that as well, but this bag is pretty thin, so I don't know how well it would work. The mixture seems to work pretty good. Get my pen back in there. So we're going to coat it, and you can coat it with, you could use a silicone thing if you want, or a brush. I don't know which one I prefer. I feel like I prefer the brush more, but the brush puts on less. So, you know, it depends on how quickly you can move, I guess, as to whether it's going to dry on you. This doesn't dry near as fast as like art glitter, but it does dry relatively fast. So make sure you've got everything ready. Your fabric's ready, your surface is ready, so that you can work fairly fast. And this is a little thicker. Well, it's about the thickness of, I don't know, I'd say a thin pancake batter. It's not super thick. All right, so we're going to do this, and I'm going to put the top edge first, because that way I have enough time to work with it. So all the way to the edge. The top you don't have to have glue on, but you can, because it will just dry. It's not going to affect anything. Make sure you get enough that your fabric will stick to it. And then we're going to line it up just under that, trying to get it somewhat centered. So just on this side of that fold, as long as you don't get it right on the fold. All right, so we're going to secure that down good. You can use something like this if you want. Fingers also work fine, but this gets it a little more, you know, pushes the glue in there better. And then we'll do the rest. But I thought it would be interesting to try this on fabric. I was kind of like, will it work? Will it not work? I really wasn't sure. You know, I had to think about folds and all that kind of stuff because you want it to remain to where it will fold enough and not be too crazy bulky. Now, I don't put the stuff on the top of the fabric because I don't like the surface as well with it, and it didn't seem to be necessary. If you feel like whatever you're using, maybe you're using Mod Podge or something and you feel like you need to, you could, but I always feel like that lends to it possibly being sticky, and the matte medium is not sticky when it dries. I don't have any issues with pieces sticking together, but regular glues you can. So make sure that's on there good. So that looks good. We're going to flip it over. Now I want to see if this stuck to this at all. Just a little. I can feel it just a tiny bit in there. So I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer just a little first. See if I can get this brush somewhere. Where can I set you? I'll set you in there. I don't want to clean it just yet. So I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer just to give it a little bit of a dry so I can flip it over to the other side. Probably use my heat tool, but it's not plugged in, so we'll use this. So I'm going to pull out that protective sheet and flip it over because it's only got one side that's shiny on this. If you're using acetate, you don't have to flip it, but this one has a normal surface on the other side, so stick it in there. And here's where I just want to make sure that I have the fabric the right direction. So this is up, so I know this needs to go that way. Okay. And my glue. Because this is so thin, you do have to work kind of fast. So I'm going to try to line it up to the same as the other side, if I can. At least close. It really doesn't matter because you don't see both sides at the same time or anything. It doesn't have to be exact, but try to get close. All right, do the other half. Have any of you tried to cover these type of bags in fabric before? I'm curious. I couldn't find any videos doing it, but it doesn't mean it hasn't been done, because pretty much everything's been done. Honestly, it's so rare you see something totally new. Make sure it's nice and flat. And it does go through my material just a little bit, but it's not too much. It's not enough to make it like shiny or anything. And then anywhere it doesn't stick later, you can always add a little bit of like art glitter to the edge if it didn't stick good. right, that feels pretty good. And then I'm going to just wipe this off and put it in some water. I'll actually wipe that with a paper towel. So when you are doing these type of things with your brushes, if you squeeze out from the ferrule outward as much of the excess of that medium as you can, it will clean a lot easier for you. And not as much gets up in the ferrule, and it's less likely to get hard. So put that in water until you can wash it. Splashing things. Move this somewhere safer. All right. So let's probably hit this with the dryer a little bit. Got a little spot right there. Never have, which is weird because I love using fabric. Cool. I have to give it a try, Dawn. So just seal this down where it didn't attach good. Okay. So hit that with the blow dryer, I think. It's not too bad. All right. So let me hit that with the blow dryer just to try to dry it a little bit. And then I could either jump over to something else temporarily to give that a minute more to dry. The other one I just let dry by itself. Enough. So now move your mat so you don't cut it accidentally. Cut a hole in mine one day. I'm so mad. Oops. Oh, let's see. What am I thinking now? So next thing you need to do is refold your edges. Ideally, I'm sure it's dry. Mine's not quite as dry as I would like it to be, but we're gonna go with it. It'll be okay. So pull that out. Now, this part, one is going to be a pocket on one side and one will be a pocket on the other side. So part of this is going away. So say this part goes away and this part folds over. Okay, it all depends on how it's sitting in your journal and where you want it to open. I'm not sure I like it on this page. I tend to not like pockets next to pockets. I don't know why. I might move it. I'll see if I have a color that would go okay with. It's pink. There's nothing really in here pink. I've got red. That's closest to pink I've got. Could put it with the red page maybe. Looking to see if there's anything on either side. Not really. Maybe I'll put it there. I'm not sure. It's either that or a beige page. I could put it on the beige. I don't think I like it there. Oh, it's like, why is that stuck together? It's a paper clip, silly. Yeah, I might move it to here. So what's going to happen, it's not going to be this wide, but it's going to be here and centered approximately. You can go ahead and give it a little bit of a fold just to see. And then, so I'm just figuring out which side I want to open which direction. Okay, so I think I want this to fold this way. So I'm going to lose this little piece here. So I'm going to grab me a chalk pencil. Got a red one here. And I'm just going to put an X on that side because I know I don't need that. And I'm keeping this. Okay, and then on the other side, you can decide the same thing. Do I want it to open on this side? Do I want it to open on this side? I think with this one, I might have it open on this side, just to be different. So for this one, I'm going to have this piece I'm going to keep on top here, and I'm going to lose this piece. So I'm just going to put an X there. Okay. So that's how it's going to go in there. Oh my goodness. So then you want to cut this off, and you can decide if you want to cut it straight, if you want to cut it with a pinking shear, whatever you want. I did the last one with the pinking shear, but you could see the bag through it a little bit, and I don't know that I liked that. So I think this one I'm going to do straight. And to do it straight, you could just cut it with the scissors, or you could, if you have a mat that will fit in there, you could put a mat in there. I'm just going to fold it where I need the cut to help me kind of see it. So this has got the X on it. Make sure you're getting the one with the X on it, or your pocket will open the other way. It's not the end of the world, but if you really want it to open that way, make sure you get the right one. You can also fold a little bit in, but it's going to be more bulky, so I wouldn't suggest it. So that's where that's going to cut. Debating if I want to cut it now or after I fold it. I think I want to cut it. I think, is there anything I left on there? I don't think I left any part of it. Okay, so let me look at my, just let me look at my sample. You're going to get a little sneak peek, but I don't think I did. Yeah, no, it's cut completely across. So I've got mats. I don't know if it's a little bit big. I could probably use this. So I'm just going to put this in here. I'll have to, oh, it might actually go all the way. And then I'm going to use my rotary, as long as I can, I think I can hit it. That way I can stay on the, close to the bag, but not past it, hopefully. So I think right there. Let's see if I can do this. Just move slow. That way if you slip, you hopefully won't hit your hand. Okay, there's that one. That way I didn't affect this one at all. And then same thing on this one. So X is here. Okay, and you can keep this. You could probably use it for something if you wanted. I don't know what. You could use it to cover the other side of the fabric, but I decided I didn't want the bulk, so I didn't. But in reality, you could take this little piece here and glue it onto here so that you have the image on both sides of that. So it could be done. As long as you didn't hit the fold, it might not be too bad. But you would just have to try to make sure the phrase matched up and everything. The pattern actually matches up good on this one anyway. I don't know about the other side. But I don't know if I could do that or not. I could. I didn't on my other one. I just used it just like it is. A little bit off right here. Not much. Just a tiny bit over the edge there. I think that's going to be around the corner, so it probably won't matter. I might go ahead and just try and figure out an angle to do it. Somehow probably because it was right on the edge there, I couldn't get it all the way to the edge. Right there. So I'll think about that, if I want to do that or not. It's going to be different than this because it's going to be folded, so we're going to go ahead and fold this back to where it's supposed to be. Now you won't be able to see the folds anymore, so you just have to kind of figure it out. I would say just try to make them match. So this goes back inside, and then it folds down. So we're going to do like a 1/2 inch, I think is about what it is. So about that much on that side. And usually you can push this enough with your fingers. I imagine you could probably iron it, but I didn't. And then make that one match the other one, hopefully. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Let's fold it in. About a 1/2 inch. And I'm just guesstimating. It's probably not quite where it was, but it's close. And same thing here. Now this one will depend on my other fold, obviously. So let's see if we can get them to lay and be matched up. What do you think? Oh, looks like it worked. So now we've got our folds back. Okay, and just make sure it's pushed down as well as you can. You can use something to burnish it. You know, burnish it real good with a bone folder, or like I said, it might take a light iron. I don't know if the ironing it would mess with the glue. It might. So I just did this. So then you've got these two pieces here. And I think I cut them off. Let me look. I might have folded them over. Okay, I folded them over. You could probably cut them off, but it's probably safer to fold them over. So I'm gonna fold them over and glue them down. And it shouldn't need mitered or anything like that. It should match up. So we're gonna glue those down. I'm just going to use art glitter, or, you know, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac, I think. It just works a little bit better on fabric than the art glitter does. Art glitter works okay. It just, I don't know. Sometimes it peels off. Once it dries, it's usually fine, but sometimes it's a little resistant. So I'm going to glue this down. This one down. Same thing here. Make sure I'm burnished pretty good. That one's a little bit off there. See if I can get it to fold in a little bit better. just try to push that glue a little bit more. It's possible, you know, it's fabric, guys. Sometimes it gets a little bit off on, because it stretches when you glue it and all that stuff. But that's not too bad. Sticky. Sticking my fingers. Stay down. And this one. All right, so glued all those down. So I have to decide if I like this straight fold or not. Almost like the pinking better. I could put like a ribbon there or something. That's a possibility. So the buttons are going to go here. And I tried to think of different ways to close this. If I had like a sew-on Velcro, you could probably use that. I don't have a sew-on. I only have the sticky one, and it says not for fabric. So I didn't figure that would work. And I tried to think of different things you could do. You could possibly put a button further out and then take like a little elastic loop and hook over the button. I decided to just go with straight buttonhole type and do it. I'm debating if I want to. I almost like the pinking better, but because this is, it's not really fraying a lot, but it is fraying just a tiny bit. Once the glue sits up, it should stop, because it's obviously it's glued down. Just got a couple little pieces that were kind of irritating me. But since my buttons are going here, so I have some pink buttons I found. These came with that mystery box I got, I think. Pretty sure that's where these are from. That 49 Market mystery box. I didn't have 4 of the flowers, but I have this other one that has some pink on it. It's a little more fuchsia, but it's fine. It's close enough. And then I have a needle. Where's my needle? Did I put it back in here? I think I did. And then I'm not sure about fabric thread. I don't have a pink thread. So I'm going to put these two, and then these two will be different. And then I have to decide about this edge. So if I put the buttons here, I used 2. You could probably get away with 1. I just thought it would hold the edges a little bit better with 2. And then you got to figure out where they need to be. So I just laid them underneath, put that on top, and then just made like a little indentation to kind of see if that's going to be a good spot. This is a little bit off. It's thicker here for some reason. But I gotta decide this edge. Should I pink it or not? I don't think I'm gonna, because it's so risky that it'll get off. And what happened on the other one here, I can probably show you. So what happened on this one was the bag started showing through. I don't know if you can see that. And I didn't like it, because I had a hard time getting the angle right with the pinking shears. So that's why I kind of decided maybe that's not the best way to do it. I wonder if I have like a little piece of maybe rickrack or something that I could put on that edge. I don't know if I have a pink rickrack. I don't have a lot of pink anything, honestly. I have a little bit of avocado dyed stuff, but most of it's pretty thick, or pretty wide. I don't think I have anything that's really nice and thin. I do have a beige. Let's see what this beige looks like. terrible. I was trying to see if I could get it thin enough to where the buttons still have enough room. And that's the thing, I don't think I'm gonna, yeah, it's pushing it too far. So maybe not. We'll just leave it plain. I don't have anything small enough. It may not look that bad. It's probably just me overthinking it as usual. So then I have to decide, do I want this on here or not? I could. It would strengthen this a little bit for the button, but I've already got the glue on there, so it's I don't think it's going to fray. That one's been holding up fine. I've opened it several times and it's been fine. So I think I'm going to leave it off. I'm just going to have it show like that. If it really bugged you, you could put, you know, the little piece of fabric back on there. But I think it's fine. We're going to leave it. So now I have to hand sew. Not my favorite thing to do, but I don't know any other way around it. I thought about, well, could I use a brad or something, but there are 4 holes, so, and they're also very small holes. I barely could find a needle small enough to go in there. So let's see, where is the thread? It's not in there. I think this is where I put the needle. Of course, I just pulled it right off. Most of these I've dulled because I was using for my journals. And when you use it for your journal, it's safer if you dull the edge, the point. So most of these have dull points and they won't go through this. This is the only one I have that's still got a sharp point on it. It's kind of small, but it will go through. Always check that it'll go through your hole. And then I just got to find some thread. I think I'm going to go with embroidery floss. Figure out where I stuck it. There it is. I don't have pink, of course. Why would I have pink? I have black embroidery floss, which probably be fine. I mean, it's just for the little bitty X in there. And then I have red. And I think the black might be a better option than the red. So we're going to go with the black, I think. Because that's the only colors I have. So I'm going to pull out some of this. Enough, hopefully, to do all 4, but I doubt it. And then we're going to mark where we need to be. And I'm going to try to get this embroidery floss. I'm going to keep all the pieces. You could probably make it thinner, but I think it's better thicker. So this is my makeshift needle threader. It's just a piece of wire that I pulled out of a ribbon. So it's literally just, you know, that ribbon wire that sometimes you don't want a wired ribbon. It's just that folded. So, but it works pretty good as a makeshift needle threader. Okay, so that, figure out where these buttons need to be. And I'm just going to mark them, probably with my red chalk pencil. Lost it. There it is. Oh, really need sharpened. Do I have a sharpener that would work on this handy? I think I see one. All right, let me sharpen this real quick. Chalk pencils can be tricky to sharpen. They'll tend to just keep breaking on you. All right, so does that look fairly centered? So just make sure it's coming over. Yeah. So I'm just going to mark about where I think these holes are. And I'm just putting all 4 approximately. Do the same here. I don't know if there's a better way to do it or not. I don't usually do this kind of stuff, so this is how I'm going to do it. And then we're going to try and find the holes. So So what I'm going to do is poke the holes. Oh, I meant to reinforce the other side. First, I'm going to reinforce the other side because this paper bag is pretty thin and it's going to have a little bit of pulling on it. So I've got some cardstock floating around here. Where'd it go? You pulled it out and you lost it. Oh, it's way over there. I see it. So I'm just going to use some brown cardstock. And what I want to do is just put a little strip there just to give the buttons just a little something more to hold on to. So you can just measure, we'll say about 1 inch in, doesn't have to be too much. And then right here, and I'm just going to cut it by hand because it doesn't really matter. And then I need 2 of those, 1 for each side. Trying to get at least 1 straight edge. So I can put that on the outside. All right. Which side's straight? Can you tell? Is it that one? They both look pretty straight. Did a good job. All right, so we're going to glue this to the side that the button's going on. So this side here, and we'll flip it over and glue that in there. We're just going to use our glitter. Try to get your outside edge fairly flush because if you don't, it might snag whatever you're putting in there. And hopefully I can get this in the right spot quickly because our glitter dries really fast. So double check them on the right side. It should be the cut side, obviously, but so we're going to shove it in there and hopefully have it close to the edge, not over the edge. Push down. I'm just going to go ahead and do this other side too while I'm at it. So same thing. I don't really need to know where the button is going because I have a fairly good idea. Which side's straight? That side? Yeah. This one looks more crooked. Okay. Inside there. A little bit of glue there. I don't want it to stick. So that'll just give me a little bit of reinforcing for that top edge. All right, so now back to our buttonholes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to poke my little marks because when I'm coming from the other side, it seemed to help a little bit. They didn't always quite line up, but it was close enough that I could kind of figure out where the hole was. Because I don't know if you have an issue, but I always have an issue getting the back side of the button to go through the hole. It just never seems to work for some reason. So I'm going to tie this. All these strands of floss can be a little bit challenging, but if I had had like a nice thick thread, I would have used that, but I don't have anything. So we're going to go with floss. All right. So just come through the underneath, and I've got these little holes there. So just pick one of my little holes. All right, pull that all the way to the end, grab my button, put it in hopefully the right hole. And you could go sideways or X, I don't know, you know, what your preference is. I'll try to hit the hole that's there already. Okay. And then hopefully having the hole on the back will help me figure out where to be. At least close. Yes. Okay, and through there. And then the last one. I can't quite feel it, but it should be right there. Stuck myself. Alright, so yellow X. I don't think it needs 2 layers. This is pretty thick embroidery fluff. It's fairly strong. So I'm just going to tie that off. And I don't know if you guys have a trick to tying these things off, but I just know to wrap it and try to pull it. Try to pull it and keep it flat. Some people can use their needle to do it. Sometimes I can. Sometimes it's better just use my finger. So I just start it to get pulled, and then I put it on that base and just pull. And it should put your knot at the bottom. Do one more just to be safe. I've seen people use their needle to hold that spot, and I can never seem to do that very easily. Alright, so then we got that, and we'll just snip that off. You could probably put a little drop of glue there just to be sure. I'm not gonna, not right now anyway. I might go back and do it later. I just don't want to deal with it drying. You'd have to hold it open till it dried. Well, that was really good. I totally missed 2 threads. Here, we'll just lose those 2. No, we're going to lose them all anyway. Hopefully that knot will hold. Feels okay. Alright, so same thing. Find your spots. We're going to start with this top right one again. I think this technique works okay. And then we'll go to the bottom. Crossways. Sure it turned right. Yeah, okay. And then whichever one you want to do, we'll go with whichever one I can see. I can see that one. But putting the holes, honestly, it made it so much easier, guys. I fought with this so bad trying to hit those holes the first time I did it. So poking the holes first definitely helps. If you're struggling, try that little trick. Alright, get that in there. And one more for safety. Hopefully I'm staying on camera. I'm trying. Alright. And then we'll snip that off. Alright, so we got all the buttons on there. And once you have your buttons on there, you got to figure out where you want your holes to be. So I just feel them through the fabric like so, and then just took a pencil and drew a line through the middle of the button. Because it's glued, it should cut fine and not fray. Where are my little scissors? There they are. So I'm just going to fold this over in the middle of that line. Give it a little snip to start it. And then you can cut to the end, wherever you think that is. Try not to go too much over. Like I said, the glue should stop it from fraying just fine. Find the middle of that one. And that looks good. Go this way just a teeny tiny bit. And then you can see if it fits. It rarely fits the first time. I usually have to play with it a little bit. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Which means that one's probably a little small too. It's a snug fit at first, but it seemed to loosen up after I opened it and shut it a few times. All right, just a little bit more. All right, so and the buttons go on here. I'm not very good at this. Like I said, it seemed like once I did it like 3 or 4 times, they got a lot better going on and off. But I think it's cute this way. All right, so there's our little pouch on that side. And then same thing on the other side. So figure out where it folds. Get your little buttons. What time is it? We're doing okay. And we're going to lay these out. Remember, you won't see both at the same time, so it doesn't really matter if they're the same. I feel like about there and a little further in. It's about here. That's close. This side's a little bit shorter, so I'll have to go about more. All right, so about there. So try to make your little dots where they are. Let's say about here, 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 and then okay. And then we'll take our pen and poke our holes. Don't poke your finger. Okay, other holes. Oh, if you can see what I'm doing. See, I'm just, I know I'm really far away on this, but I'm just poking the little holes that I marked. Okay, same thing as last time, tie your little knot. Okay, I'm going to work this way because it's easier for me. So, first hole. And the second hole. The needle is sharp. I've poked myself like 3 times now. Luckily, none of them are bleeding. I'm always poking myself when I sew. I don't know why, but I do every time. And I can't wear a thimble. I've tried. They really bug me. Okay, got a little X. All right, come on, cooperate. One, two. It's not too bad for hand sewing. I know it's a little bit time consuming, but it's not terrible. Could definitely be worse. At least I'm not sitting here trying to embroidery something in front of you. So I am very slow at that. Probably should put glue on the end of these so I don't have to fight with getting all the strands in there, because I'm kind of failing at it. My glue's dried out on me. I'll use a drop of water. I forgot to put the lid on. Let's do that. There. Do that real quick. Alright. So, next one. Figure out which direction works best. Stay in the hole. I could probably make these a little bit looser, but they feel like they loosen up on their own fine, so I didn't worry about it too much. If you feel like they need to be looser, you could do that. And you could, I mean, I'm sure put 4 is probably better than 2, but, you know, I only went through twice or once on each little cross, because I think it's enough. I mean, unless you're opening the pocket a billion times, it'd probably hold up fine. If worse came to worse, I suppose you could sew the button on again. Oh, I did 2. All right. Sometimes I do both knots at the same time, but sometimes I just can't get it to go low enough when I do that. I didn't trim that little piece off. Hold on. It's in my way. If you wrap it twice, you can do both knots at the same time, but then it seems like it's always a little harder to get the knots to stay. I think I got it. There. All right, so those. And put this back in my embroidery, I guess. I'll just keep that needle in there. It's probably safer. All right, figure out where our holes need to be. Very shaky. I haven't eaten dinner, and I found out that my lovely diet, my liquid diet that I've been on for way too long, which has consisted of things like tomato red pepper soup, beef broth, applesauce, banana smoothies with like a protein mix in them, and a little bit of mashed potatoes in the beef broth, things like that. Well, little did I know, I've had like Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid issue, but not so severe I had to be on medication. And it's been under control. I've been able to keep it under control with diet. Little did I know, because I really wasn't even thinking about it, both bell peppers and tomatoes are horrible for Hashimoto's. So my thyroid levels are in the drain. They're so bad. Which of course is causing me to have fatigue and who knows what else. So I had to rethink. I guess I'm going to do more bone broth, but the bone broth is so expensive. I haven't been wanting to buy it. A little bit more. I'm fighting with that. Because it's like, I buy the decent bone broth, so it's like $12 for one of those bottles. Those little, you know, the typical, I don't know, paper, cardboard box things. So, but it's more nutritious than just doing like regular chicken broth. So that was bad enough. So I found out, you know, my TSH levels were too high. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Well, I'll change that from my diet until I can get this hole to close up. And it's really close to being closed now. But then she calls me the next day and she's like, oh, and your potassium levels are too high too. I'm like, my potassium levels? What? I didn't even know that could get too high. I'm like, well, I have been having a banana smoothie every day. And she's like, yeah, you might want to cut back on those bananas. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was doing all the things that were bad for me. Figures. Look, isn't it cute? It's so cute. So that's going to fold like that. And this will get sewn in to the signature. Hopefully it won't be too difficult to sew through. It'll be a little challenging because it's a little thick, but I think it'll be all right. So where's our signature? So where did I say I was putting it? On the red. This red or this red? I guess I can do it in front. All right, so let's see. That goes like that. I do think putting it at the front might make it a little bit easier. It's going to make it a little bulky. I think it's probably better than putting it in the middle, because it is a little bulky. It's going to push that out just a little bit, but I'll probably add some lace or something. If I put it in near the middle, then it wouldn't, I don't think it would push out as much. Let me see. What if I put it, I don't want to put it here, but I'm just going to see what it looks like if I put it here. It pushes out as much. So then it just pushes just that middle piece out. So wherever you put it, it's going to push out your page, because it is a little bulky, but it's cute. So we're just going to keep it. Might do it on the second one or the first one. I think it looks better on the first one. We're just going to put it here. And I'll cover up the fact that it doesn't line up exactly with some lace or something. So I think I'll be cute there. Okay. And so inside it, you just want to add some little tags. So I have some lined up somewhere. There they are. So I already picked out some pictures to play with. So I have this is from one of my fabrics. I'm debating on putting it on the front of one. What do you think? You think it's too much? Or does it look okay? I don't like this one as much. I think that one's too much. But this one's not terrible. What do y'all think? And it doesn't have to have anything there, but it's kind of cute. Could either put it near the bottom, so the grass is in the right spot. I don't think, does that come over too much? We can move over a little bit. I don't want to get too close to the signature. Could put it like that. What do you think? Is it cute? Not cute? I think I like it. And now I might leave the other side just plain. But I have that guy. I had this guy, but I don't think I like him. He kind of looks a little harsh, doesn't he? It's one of those, you know, 1900s wood block things. So I have this image. It's also from those images from my 19th century book. Couple pig images. I just put them on pink. So those can go in there. And do one of these. And then I've got this one. This is from Down on the Farm. Yeah, Down on the Farm by Tailor Made Journals. That was in her kit. Old piggies. Have this. I didn't back it yet. This is from 11/9 Designs. Probably could back it and put it with this one. But what do y'all think about the pig on there? Anybody say anything? I think I'll just do it. The other side I think I'll leave plain. I think the pig will look best on that side. Let me see what the other side is. Oh, that's the one I have going that direction. Yeah, we'll leave this one like it is, I think. With nothing on it. And then we'll put the, I think I'll back this. But I'll put this guy in there. So there's one. Let's see if I can get this back on. It's a little tricky. I don't know if it's me or the buttons. Oh, I think it was easier to put the other side first. There. All right. So we'll probably back that one. So that can go in there. And then I think I'll put this piggy on there. Why not? We're just going to set him down here. I don't really have to worry I'm going into the signature too much because he's at the front. So we can put him right over there and then most of him will show. Yep. So we're going to put him on with probably some Fabri-Tac. So this is a glued piece of fabric from, do I have it close? I just don't know exactly where it is. I don't even see any of it. I might have stuck it back in my drawer. Just stick it back in your drawer. Maybe. Anyway, it was a piece of fabric that I can't show you because I don't know where it is. I used it to cover something. Probably a journal last year. But I fussy cut a whole bunch of them out. First glued them. This is the fabric basically. So this one has got like these cute cows and chickens, but they're all lightly glued with that mixture that I just showed you. Some may be just plain matte medium, but most of them I think are the mixture. It just makes them not fray and easy to fussy cut out and then use for embellishment. And if you put the glue on the back side and not the front side, you don't get any of that shine. You see that shine? It's just a little bit of shine sometimes with the glue. So you don't get it if you do it on the back side. All right, so let's see if we can get this glue on here. piggy. So I think that was a fun project. I think that's cute. Nice little pocket to hide things in. You can journal on the backs, put pictures in there, whatever. I think it'll hold up okay. It seems to be. Like I said, if you like the sew, you could always put a buttonhole stitch around it. I do not. I don't like to sew, so I decided just to have it like it is. It seems okay. All right, there we go. Little piggy staying down. Seems okay. All right, so there's that. I'll probably just back this later and put it in there. I'll show it to you next time. It's not a big deal. And let's move to decorating that rest of the folder, which has a bunch of those little images. Where did I put it? I don't know. There it is. I found it. And the prototype that I made is going to go in my idea book so that I can remember that I did this once. So this is some gecko fabric I've had forever. It's really cute. I like geckos. Turtles and geckos, and I don't know what else on there. Kind of southwestern, I guess it is. All right, so I had a bunch of these little, I don't know what that's doing on there, images. I had figured out where to put them, and now, of course, I've totally forgotten, so let's see if we can figure it out. So, I think maybe might have been putting him there, so he's kind of sitting on the roof of that, but he's also got grass, so I don't guess that makes sense. So maybe I put him there, or did I put him here where the chicken shows? Honestly don't remember. So let's see, the cow only fits somewhere wider, so was it this or this? Barely fits there. I think that's where it was though, because it just doesn't quite fit there. So I think it was going to go here. It just fits in between there. And then the horse maybe there. Or I could do it here. I've got a lot of different designs, so I got to figure out. I have no idea what I did originally. I kind of lined them all up and then figured it out, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think I had this on one of these. I've also got this one that's more color to it. I think this is the only side that had things that needed decorated. Yeah. Okay, so where was I going to put this? It's like milk and eggs. Maybe I was going to put it with her. It's not bad there. Happy chicken, I don't know. Little piggy, maybe. Nope, his tail doesn't work. All right, piggy can't go there. Could piggy go here? Would his tail be in the same spot? Oh, it's the same spot. Okay. Maybe the piggy could go maybe here. I like I had the horse there. Pig's wide because he's got the tail sticking out. And then we got this Highland cow. Where was I going to put this rooster? There, I think. And then I'll got rustic pantry, lazy spoon, happy chicken. Okay, I'll go with happy chicken there. Highland cow there. That works. We won't use this one. It was the least favorite. Put it back in the container. Alright, so now I got glue. Art glitter or Fabri-Tac? I'm gonna go with art glitter. It'll be quicker. There's a lot of glue on these already because they're glued on the back, and when you put glue on, it does kind of reactivate that a little. Use my tweezers, probably safer. Where's my rag? Hopefully not too much ooze. All right. I'll do this guy. So I think this will be cute. Decoration on here. I like doing these out of fabric. Whenever I get a fabric that has like cute little individual designs, I almost always do a few fussy cuts out of it. This fabric I got a couple of years back at Hobby Lobby. It was still there when I went the other day, so they do still seem to have it. If anyone's looking for it. I don't know what the name is, but probably find it. Glue went through that one. Usually it doesn't go through, but it did go through that one. So I'll have to make sure that's dry before I shut it. Possibly put a little bit of powder on it. Usually there's enough glue on there already sealing it that the glue doesn't go through it. But that Highland didn't have a lot of glue on it. I didn't cover up the Discover. I'm just leaving it. I thought about putting the washi, and it just wasn't looking good when I played around with it, so I decided against it. I think I'm going to make a bookmark out of that washi though. That chicken wire. Okay, this one. This one's got some bald spots too. The bald spots are always very noticeable where the glue didn't seal completely. Because they're not shiny. So this is going to seep a little too. Okay. too bad. All right, so we need this side and this side. Y'all like it? Did you like this little folio thing I did? Is that fun? A bit time consuming, but I think it's cute. Try to get the X straight, I guess. And cow. Thought we did you. Guess not. Yeah? Okay. Saw some hearts. I have to be paying attention. Sometimes I miss the hearts because they only show for a second. If I'm not looking that way, I don't see them. Okay. See if we can get him on here. He's just fit, so be a little bit careful. He's oozing a lot. You can always tell when it's the glue's oozing through because it gets this, you see all those little spots? They'll dry clear, right? But right now they're definitely wet on the top, so you got to be real careful that you don't close it until that's completely dry. Or it'll stick to whatever's next to it. All right, little rooster. Straight. Okay, so I just want to make sure nothing's too sticky and maybe put a little powder on it just to be safe. I'm gonna close this. Oh my goodness, my stomach is a gurgling. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. All right, powder. This just helps it not to be as sticky. I try to wait till it's at least somewhat dry before I put it on there. Oh, it wasn't too bad. I got a little extra, but that's okay. It all brushes off. It's technically a translucent makeup powder I'm using. Don't knock it over. Okay. Always discolors it a little at first, but it usually brushes pretty much out. little tiny bit sticky. I already did that one. Okay. All right, that should be good. Thanks, Kim. Glad y'all like it. I think it's cute. So there we go. Our folder thing is all done. Got lots of cute little things on it. Lots of writing space. All right, so we'll put that into here. And that's just going to go, it can go in front or the back, doesn't really matter. This is a little bulky, like I said, so we'll just throw it back there. And let's see, which one was this? This is the back, this is the middle, I think. I think that's that one. Where's the other one? I think this one we were doing first. A little bulky. I'm not sure. I think once it's in there, it probably won't be as bad once it's sewed down good. Right now, you know, it's not snug. Yeah, it feels a little better once it's sewed down good. I think it'll be all right. So there's that, there's that. I think that is it for today. Did I have anything else? I need to make a pocket for those sheep that I buried somewhere. There's one. Where's the other one? There it is. Figure out a good place to put those. They're a little bulky too. Probably don't want to add any more bulk to that one. And it's like, did I have a red spot in this one? No, already covered that red spot. Okay. I thought about moving it, but I think it's all right there. We'll see. So this needs a pocket somewhere. I don't think I wanted it on red. It's a big card. Might do a belly band. Better there than I thought it would be. All right, so maybe that there. Probably don't want two in the same, so let's see. That might be a good option. I haven't done anything with this yet, but I think when I do something with this, I'll try to put this in there. So we'll try to make the colors match. It's already got some of the colors. It's definitely got some reds and some greens in here. I think we had talked about putting that one ribbon on the side of this. Which one was it? The plaid green? I think it was the plaid green, which I don't see right this second. It's buried somewhere. Where are you buried? Nope. Maybe here. There you are. I want to see what that color looks like with that. I can't remember. Maybe. That might work. I'll maybe do that. I don't think I have enough time to do that today. So let's just paper clip it in there. We'll save that for next time. And we'll do that other one today. I think I got time for that. Okay. What can I do a belly band with? Do I need a belly band? I don't know. Possibly. What if I have a ribbon or something. It's going to cover the little sheep's face. It's not a good way. The only other thing I could do is put a side tuck. And it wouldn't cover his little face. On this page, I definitely would want it on this side. So I don't know if I could do it thin enough. What do we have? Let's see. That's the wrong direction. I did cover this with chicken wire. I might want to do it. I don't know if I like the color. It's not terrible. Oh, it's probably not wide enough. This was going to be a bookmark. But then I decided, I put it on beige paper and it doesn't look good. So I was going to do it on white paper. But wasn't going to do it today, but it'll look basically like that on white. Don't think it looks good with the plaid though. So maybe not for there, but I will be doing a bookmark like that. Just not today. All right, what else do we have for a side pocket? I have a little bit of lace. Do I have a plaid lace? It's probably my Christmas stuff. Where is my Christmas stuff? That looks a little bit too Christmassy, I think. And it might be too thin. I suppose I could put it off to the side. It's not bad. Maybe I'll do that. It's a wired ribbon. Don't necessarily need the wire, but I might keep it. It'll give it a little more stiffness for sure. Decide if I want to keep the wire or not keep the wire. So if I put this maybe there, and his little face will still show some. It might work. Might have to put this down with something. Let's see what's on the other side of this. Oh, it's the middle picture. No, that doesn't work. So I can't use a brad there. Red. I really like it here, so I just won't use a brad. I was thinking about using a brad, but no. I'm not going to use a brad. All right, so debating on how to attach this. I might cut. I'll probably cut the wire off of the part that's not part of the belly band. I'm thinking I could probably get away with just using Fabri-Tac. Not sure about the wire. I can't tell if it's going to be more of a hindrance or a good thing. Far enough, I can cut them, and then I should be able to fold it under and glue it, and still have the wire be. I think it might help with keeping this stronger. I don't know, maybe not. We're gonna try it, and then this one I want to fold right here. So try to get the wire cut there if I can. I don't that much material though. Let's cut some of that off. Take off this wire to that line, approximately there. Take off this wire. I don't know where that went. Let me get back in there now. Oops, now I gotta push it from the other side. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe. Maybe not. I pulled it out too far. I don't think I can feed it back through there. Can I? It's hard to hold straight. I'm trying. Maybe I can. Nope, I couldn't do it. All right, I'll just cut it off. Well, maybe I should pull the wire out. The wire's kind of being a pain. I was thinking it would strengthen it a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to pull the wire out, guys. It's just not, it's not staying where I want it to stay, and it's going to poke. If I can find it, there it is. So this is what I used for making that needle threader. In case you didn't know what I was talking about earlier. This would be it. Oh, I can't see it. Oh. Ouch. I guess it's there. Oh my gosh, it's going to come out where I don't want it to come out. Get out of there. I can't get hold of it. Hold on. Tweezers maybe. Okay. Now I have wires everywhere. This must be magnetic too. Magnet scissors everywhere. All of them are magnetic. Alright, so I usually keep these. I just give them a little twist so I don't lose them. But these pieces I need to get rid of. Oh, there's my threader from earlier. So, let's see. I'm going to try to pick these up before I stab myself with them. And there's another one that went somewhere, but I don't see it. I'll find it later on the floor. That's usually what happens. Okay. Any holes in my fingers? Nope, we're good. Okay, so let's just glue this down, hopefully for the best. See if it stays. Do I need it? How much room do I have? Okay, I got a good 1/2 inch on each side. So it's going to fray like crazy. I'm debating if I want to try to fold it and glue it. That's going to raise it more. Probably not. I think I'm just going to hope it doesn't fray too much. Could always add a little ribbon or something. Alright, so we're going to glue that there with, I guess, Fabri-Tac. Let's see if this works. Oh my goodness, Fabri-Tac, come on. Trying to keep it this way so it doesn't get in the way of our little sheep. As snug as I can get it. It's still very wet. That's why a lot of times I like to use a brad on these, because it gives it that little extra holding power without being so sticky. But I don't want it to show on the other side, so we're just going to use Fabri-Tac. all over my fingers. It's definitely coming through that ribbon. All right, is it drying? It's almost dry. All right, we'll let that dry for a second, but it's going to be, hopefully, it's going to snag on that crackle a little bit, but not too bad. That'll be like that, but I'm not going to put it in there yet because it's gonna snag like crazy. Of course it's gonna snag. I suppose I could have coated it with something, but I didn't. I wonder if I could, debating if I could sand off that rough edge. Maybe. I'm gonna try. Let's see what happens if you try to sand it a little teeny bit without being too rough. It's got matte medium on it, but I've never actually tried to give it a little sand. It's not quite as rough. Alright, maybe that'll help it not to snag so much. But we're not going to put it in because this needs to dry. I'm just going to let that dry for a bit. Make sure it's nice and secure before I try to sneak that in there. But that'll go there. I think it'll look cute. And we are done. Any more metal on there? No. I don't know where that other piece went. Just throw this in here. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, this can go here, but I'm not gonna stick it in there yet. Here, I'm just gonna put it, try to get where the glue isn't, so I can close it. Just gonna stick it here for a second. And then we'll worry about that later. I don't think else. It's not that sticky. Okay. It shouldn't stick anything. So we got that done, and we got our little pouch done. Not too bad. A fairly productive day. A little pouch. It's cute. All right, guys. That's it for today. I will see you guys on Friday, and we will work on this some more. Ouch, quit stabbing yourself. Oh my goodness. What are you doing? Found another piece of metal. So these are very haphazard. These little teeny slivers of metal that you cut are very dangerous. Stick them on tape, guys. If you don't lose them, because they will get you. They're very sharp. Stabbed myself like 3 times. That one's gonna try to bleed, so I'll have to doctor myself. All right, so that's it for today, guys. See you guys Friday. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm gonna go doctor my finger and get some food in me so I can function better. All right, y'all take care and see you next time. Bye bye.